Mrs. Zuwaira Illiya, a 46-year-old woman who has lived with obstetric fistula for 30 years, is still keeping hope alive in spite of her bleak situation. Zuwaira of Markafi village in Markafi local government area of Kaduna State told the news agency of Nigeria she became pregnant at 16 shortly after she got married, but experienced prolonged labor during childbirth.
I was married off when I was 16 and immediately became pregnant. When it was time to deliver the baby, I went into labor for 3 days. They took me to the hospital and my vagina was increased to enable the baby to come out, and that was how I developed VVF and RVF. I was taken to a hospital in Kano and underwent surgery 3 times without success. From there, I was taken to another hospital in Jos Plateau State, but instead of performing a surgery, the doctor referred me to the VVF unit in Zaria, Kaduna State. In Zaria, I was operated on twice, but I was still leaking urine and feces. Notwithstanding, I am still hopeful, maybe, just maybe, if I undergo another surgery, I will be healed. My life is a life of agony because I was with my mother here in the hospital when she became ill and died 4 days after my second surgery. I went to her burial with a pipe in my body. I was waiting for another surgery when I received a message that my father was ill. I left the hospital to look after him. He also died. While I was in Kano, my husband divorced me because of my condition, and I returned to my parents' house. We have seen how so many survivors were operated and were healed, went back home, became pregnant, and then returned to the hospital to deliver their babies through a cesarean section. This is why we are still hopeful that all is not lost and resolved to stay and get well so that maybe God will also give us a child.
29-year-old Mrs. Safia Musa said she got married at the age of 20. Musa, a VVF survivor and an indigene of Kaduna State,
when I developed the condition, my husband stood by me. My co-wife, however, refused to eat my food. Even her children rejected my food. Only my husband eats my food in the house.
Safia's mother, Mrs. Asmao Musa, said after referrals to several hospitals without success, she lost the baby after surgery due to prolonged labor. Asmao said 2 days later, she noticed her daughter's belly was getting bigger and she was not urinating.
Since he touched something, I suspected it could be a cotton wool that the doctor probably put there and removed. That was when the urine began to leak. We didn't know about the disease before, and when we raise her up, urine will begin to leak. And if she is lying down on the bed, you will see urine everywhere. I complained to the doctor, and he said there is a solution, but it will require 6 injections per day at 2,000 naira each. 2 days after the injections, there was still no improvement, so I took her home. I will cry, she will cry, and her siblings also cry because we have never seen this kind of ailment before. Then our husband heard of the VVF unit and brought us to the facility. She later underwent the surgery, got better, returned to her husband, and was blessed with another pregnancy. We returned to the unit for a scan, then went back to Buruku, where she continued with antenatal care. When it was time to deliver, she returned to the facility where she was delivered of a baby boy. We are grateful. We are grateful. May God uplift the officials.
Hajia Fatima Umar, head of the VVF unit, said Safia's remarkable fistula repair and the gift of a baby gave hope to many survivors.
Actually, they don't find it easy staying in their environment or in their homes. So even sometimes if they come and they were examined, Or if they had that other doctors are coming from somewhere, they will say they will come. If they come, they will examine them. Even if they say they can't do it, after a time, another time, they will still come. So because they are already comfortable with the hospital environment.
On his part, Dr. Ado Zakari, a fistula surgeon who is also a consultant public health physician, said he had been operating obstetric fistula since 1999.
Yeah, there are situations where the damage was so extensive there is nothing we could do. Because it's just a question of getting available tissue to repair. But in a situation where the entire tissue has been damaged, especially as a result of activities of the quacks, because they have no knowledge of anatomy. They operate anyhow, they take out everything, even the bladder tissue, they remove everything. And when you look at it, obviously there is no way you can repair it. You cannot create tissue anywhere and close the fistula. Because fistula is a hole, it's a communication. It's a wide, if it is so wide, where will you get the tissue to repair it? So such cases, we have them. They are irreparable. We cannot repair them.